part 1 of this video, I would like to show you 2 of my favorite drills for helping skiers improve their medium radius carve turns. The video is part of my new instructional called Coaching Taka, which you can find linked up there or in the description below. The drills should help you to, number 1, get the skis on the edge right from the start of the turn, and number 2, to stay balanced against the outside ski and carve a clean turn until the end. If you have the feeling that you get stuck on the edge and struggle with carving on steeper slopes because you get faster and faster, or if you feel like you're rushing things too much at the beginning of the turn, then this lesson is for you. My name is Klaus Mair. I am a fully certified Austrian ski instructor and have been teaching skiing for the last 10 years year-round full-time. Or at least that's what I have been doing before the virus struck. I have been teaching skiing for over 30 years, and it has always been my goal to work on the things that help my students progress most in the mid and long term. What you can see here is nothing that I just came up with, but has been tested and used in thousands of lessons on snow, and I hope that it can help you too. The first 2 drills will be about those key skills again. I train with many really good skiers that after the training are often surprised by how much they could benefit from the work on the basics. So please take the time and have a look at those fairly basic tasks, because most likely you could benefit from them as well. Often it is just being a bit off balance that hardly shows on a blue run, but comes out more when the slopes get steeper and holds skiers back on the more advanced slopes and doesn't allow them to progress. So the first drill is going to be about patience at the top of the turn, that we get into the turn clean and that we don't take any unnecessary moves into the turn that then make it harder to succeed in the second half. Perfect guys, good morning and hi Taka, here are some drills. I will ski each drill first in a slow version and then in a faster version. We want to move, we want to at the top of the turn just focus on letting the skis pick up speed. Let the skis get into the fall line, feel how steering pressure builds up and then start to build up position. Don't start to do something too early, don't build up position too early or try to rush it. I take my time, feel the edge and carve it, move, take my time on it. So I want to be more patient at the start of the turn, allow for more time than usual for the skis to turn by themselves. Move forward, release the edges and then feel how gravity will slowly start to pull you. The skis will start to turn without you having to do anything. This seemingly trivial task is the first key to being able to discover a carve turn, and it is the part where it often starts to go wrong. Often skiers are nervous about the fall line, they rush it and force the skis or their bodies into the turn, which will then lead to rotation and sliding, which is basically the opposite of what we want to achieve. So once more, we move forward and flatten the skis. We feel the shins, let the skis turn, and feel how we're starting to pick up speed. When we feel the acceleration, we start to edge the skis more and look for the balance against the outside ski. We consciously try to avoid unwanted moves that we might tend to do to get the turn started. We obviously want to do this first on a run that is not too steep, where we dare to let the skis run a bit. A good way to practice this is also to count at the top of the turn. If you have the tendency to rush it, to get a bit nervous there, if you don't like the speed, then move and do 1, 2, 3, or wait, and then figure out the rest of the turn. If you're not doing something wrong at the beginning, the second half is going to be much easier. In the second half of the turn, the skis will slow down. While the feet slow down, we want to let our body fall forward down the hill in the direction we want to go. We show commitment, let gravity pull us, get neutral and forward, and are ready to step on the new outside ski again. Also in the fast version now, I try to be extra patient at the top, let the skis pick up speed. Sometimes people are not comfortable with this moment because they have the feeling they're getting out of control too fast. If I know that I can take the skis out of the fall line in the second half, then I don't need to worry about allowing the skis to accelerate a bit. I need to be careful that when I move, that I don't move up and back, because then the skis will go and I will go back. So make sure that it's always an up and forward, so that we can move in the direction the skis will go, that we can move with the skis. It is crucial for us and for many of my clients that they discover that moment at the top, that they are fine with that amount of speed, and that they have the confidence that afterwards they can finish the turn and control the speed by turn shape. The next step now will be that we will start to feel the outside ski and build up steering pressure earlier. If we want to go as fast as possible, then we want to have the main pressure right around the apex of the turns. If I want to take speed out, then I will have more pressure in the second half of the turn, which will slow me down. So in the next drill now, we will focus on, after moving up and forward, to feel the outside ski earlier. We start to edge it, we start to feel the pressure build there, and to make sure that we're really on it, we will for a short moment try to lift the inside ski, feel how the outside ski pulls, and then slowly put the inside ski down. Perfect movement description for this drill. We finish the turn, we move up and forward, we are in the middle, we let the ski start to turn, start to edge the outside ski, lift the end of the inside to make sure we're fully on the outside, edge more, adjust, and then slowly put the inside ski down. We start out very slowly with more sliding as well. I move for a short moment, lift this one, balance on the outside ski. I move, lift, make sure I'm on the outside, and carve it. We first do it with more sliding, and then in the second run we'll do it with more carving of the turn. By lifting the end of the inside ski, I can make sure that I have the outside, and then I don't want to let it go the whole way through the turn. Every time a skier moves away from the outside ski and then back on it, that's when the turns become less round, more rushed, and when we often then also push the skis out and don't get the round turn shape that we would like to have. If we find the outside ski early, if we manage to find the edge and then progressively get on it more and more, then we'll have a good chance that the turn will be round, that we can steer the skis, and that we manage to stay on top and in balance. By getting into the turn clean, goal number 1, and goal number 2, finding the outside ski early, we can then at higher speeds play more with the forces, adjust, and make sure that we stay in balance throughout the whole turn. First, we need to make sure that we have the grip over the outside ski, then we can start to play more with inclination. Also in the faster version, I want to be careful that when I put the inside ski down again, that I don't fall back on it, that I put it down and keep it light. Oftentimes now with more speed, the inclination then will also help me to just put this one down here by getting a bit lower, more inclined. But also here, again, same as before, I want to be able to ski that turn with this one still being light, so I have the outside ski being the boss, taking me around the corner. That's something we have seen with Tucker, that with that little bit of rotation, he would then sometimes fall back on that too hard. So that's something we want to avoid. We also want to make sure that with the outside ski engaged and on the edge, we can decide how tight the turn should become. So I can still manipulate and decide Do I want to edge a bit more and close the turn more, or do I want to let it go in a bigger turn? Oftentimes when people focus just on staying low and making the outside ski long, the moment the outside ski gets all stretched out and extended, then I have it locked in one position and it's going to be impossible, or I have a much smaller range of movement to adjust to decide how much I would like to finish that turn. And I'm much more in a locked in position where I then need to let the skis ride and go. Remember that the key to getting closer to the ground is not to get the hip closer to the ground, but to improve your feeling for edging and balancing all over the outside ski. The moment this gets better, the moment you're able to move with the ski and progressively increase that, that's the moment when you then can also start to play more with inclination. And that's what we'll do on the next drill now.
But before we go there, let's reflect on this one more time to make sure that we are getting it right. A very common mistake, especially from skiers that are on carving skis that give them a lot of edge hold by design, is to lean too much on the inside and carve a turn while being too much on the inside ski and often in the back. While this might work fine on easier runs, they will then realize that the technique they're using doesn't work on steeper runs and they struggle to progress. The key drill for those will be doing the lift the inside ski drill at slow speeds while sliding the turns. When we go slower, we often need to be even cleaner, as we cannot use the forces that work on us to cheat. I need to be able to do this seemingly easy drill clean and in balance before I can move on to the faster version. What we need to understand is that it is the grip over the outside ski and our ability to balance against it that helps us achieve higher edge angles, and not just to let ourselves topple more. Our goal number one was to let the skis get into the turn without doing any moves that disturb that. Then we focused on our ability to step on the outside ski clean and early, so we can stay in balance, and once this is on a certain level, we will start to play more with inclination. If this doesn't work, then we probably are not doing one or two good enough yet, and we need to go back to the basics. To a certain extent, it is similar to what happens when kids learn to ride a bike. The first step will be to find the balance on the bike without external help. Once this is achieved, we would never rush into showing the kid right away how it can now lean into the turn, as his balance skills on the bike first need to get improved before we can introduce that. If people in skiing don't dare to play with the forces and inclination on a steeper run, then it usually is that they're still too much over the inside ski and cannot get the grip over the outside enough that will then give them the confidence to play more with inclination. Telling them to topple more will only get them on the inside ski more. So make sure you work enough on the basics so that you feel really solid balancing against your outside ski, and when you're now experimenting with leaning to the inside more, make sure that you don't fall back to old habits.
We're going to do some turns here on this fairly easy run.